Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 29, chapter 29. Today we're reading Jacob Meets Rachel. So, Jacob went on his journey and came to the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and saw a well in the field. And behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. A large stone was on the well's mouth. Now, all the flocks would be gathered there, and they would roll the stone from the well's mouth, water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. And Jacob said to them, My brethren, where are you from? And they said, We are from Haran. Then he said to them, Do you know Laban the son of Noah? And they said, We know him. So he said to them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And look, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. Then he said, Look, it is still high day. It is not time for the cattle to be gathered together. Water the sheep, and go and feed them. But they said, We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together. And they had rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. Now, while he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative, and that he was Rebekah's son. So she ran and told her father. Then it came to pass, when Laban heard the report about Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. So he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely you are my bone, and my flesh. And he stayed with him for a month. Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. Then Laban said to Jacob, Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wage be? Now Laban has 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel was beautiful of form and appearance. Now Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me. So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because of the love he had for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in to her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. Now it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. And Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a maid. So it came to pass in the morning that, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me? And Laban said, It must not be done so in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we'll give you this one also for the service, which you will serve with me still another 7 years. Then Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. So he gave him his daughter Rachel as a wife also. And Laban gave his maid Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a maid. Then Jacob also went in to Rachel, and he also loved Rachel more than Leah. And he served with Laban still another 7 years, the children of Jacob. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, The Lord has surely looked on my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. Then she conceived again and bore a son, and said, Because the Lord has heard that I am unloved, he has therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simon. She conceived again and bore a son, and said, Now, this time my husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name was called Levi. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, Now, I will praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah. Then she stopped birthing. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed Genesis 29 with me. Here's a quick summary. Genesis 29 is where Jacob arrives in Padam Aram and experiences a taste of his own deceptive tactics. He comes to a well, meets shepherds who point out to his cousin Rachel approaching with her father Laban's sheep, and immediately falls for her, rolling the stone off the well himself and weeping with emotion when he introduces himself as her relative. Laban welcomes him warmly, and Jacob works for a month before Laban asks what wage he should pay him. Jacob offers to work 7 years in exchange for Rachel's hand in marriage, and the text notes those 7 years seemed to him but a few days because of his love for her. But on the wedding night, Laban deceives Jacob, substituting Rachel's older sister Leah in the dark, and Jacob doesn't realize until morning, when he confronts Laban. Laban claims it's their custom not to marry off the younger daughter before the firstborn, and offers Rachel too if Jacob will serve another 7 years. Jacob agrees, marries Rachel a week later, and works the additional 7 years because Leah is unloved compared to Rachel. God opens her womb while Rachel remains barren, and Leah bears 4 sons in succession: Reuben, Simon, Levi, and Judah, each name reflecting her longing for Jacob's love and her gratitude to God. Here's the lesson underneath it. This chapter is often read as poetic justice. The deceiver, who tricked his blind father and stole his brother's blessing, is himself deceiving through a trick involving disguise and darkness, unable to tell one sister from another until it's too late. It's also a story about the pain of being unloved or overlooked within a family, Leah has experienced, and God's particular tenderness towards those in that position. He sees and responds to Leah's sorrow, even as human favoritism continues to play out around her. Thank you guys so much for listening. See you tomorrow.